Good evening, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we are live from Studio Vanguard. We are linked in with the following repeaters. Jeff, which repeaters are we following?
Watkinsville, Flagship, Columbus, Lula, Toccoa, Jersey, Noonan, Rome, McDonough, Dallas, Ocala, White Oak Mountain, Cades Cove, Lookout Mountain, Fort Mountain, Chattanooga, Ottawa, Georgetown, and of course our VoIP service, Zello.
Oh, it's my turn again. Tonight, our RF coverage is a pretty big deal. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone, and that would be all of you, who make the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. My name is Justin.
WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
And Atlanta 750, WRMR 367. My name is Jeff.
On the net. Oh, I missed a line. No, I didn't. We're located somewhere in the northern hemisphere. We don't need that. On the net, you can talk about your day's activities. Radio. Somebody ought to edit this script. You can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything that pops into your head randomly that you think we'd like to hear. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are welcome from anyone with a valid FCC call sign. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. Also, you can tune in to our YouTube channel and follow along. Or even better, tune in after the net to watch your appearance on the network and hear how you sound to us right here in Studio Vanguard. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment so we know that you are watching. These interactions mean the most to help our channel grow. What's our topic this week, Jeff?
This topic this week is summer projects.
Summer projects. It seems like we have a history of summer projects. I remember not too long ago we took on a summer project with a deadline for the Chattanooga Hamfest, and that would have been Studio G. Do you remember that?
Yep, 2 years ago.
And then we took on another crazy project with a deadline for the Jeep Fest,
Which would be this wonderful piece of artwork right here, Studio Vanguard.
So Vanguard was that summer project. We have a summer project going on right now, and that is the new Studio B. We'll be talking more about that here in a little while. What's our summer project going to be next year, Jeff?
Well, you have a lot of summer projects. Some are here, some are there. That wasn't what the topic was about?
Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to be building a chicken coop up at Free Salad, or
It's time to break.
time to break? Be right back. All right, so that's our topic this week. But first, before we get into all that, let's catch up with Kate.
This is WRMR 367, Atlanta 751. Kate from high atop Mount Molesky, live in Studio C with this week's Catch Up with Kate. The Smith Family Barbecue was another successful event and officially in the books for 2024. With such a great turnout, it was wonderful to see so many faces that we hear so often but rarely have the pleasure of seeing. We wish to thank everyone who played a part in making it happen, and we are excited at the potential for next year's annual Smith Family Barbecue for North Georgia GMRS Network. The next Westside Luncheon will take place on Saturday, May 11th at 11 a.m. This luncheon takes place on the second Saturday of every month. Thank you, Sterling. All are welcome to attend this luncheon at Taco Mac in Marietta, located at 2650 Dallas Highway, Suite 110. For anyone who would like to attend, please be sure to RSVP by emailing rabbithole@nggmrs.org so that they may contact the restaurant and make sure there is enough seating available for everyone who would like to attend. Let me break. The next Chattanooga lunch gathering will be at Champy's on Friday, May 17th. Easy to find, exit 1 off of 75 and a short drive west. You can't miss Champy's on the right. Come and hang out with us and enjoy some NGGMRS fellowship. The Northeast Bunch will gather at Roosters this month on May 29th. Be sure and plan to attend. Easy to find, right at the end of 400, located in Dahlonega. These lunch gatherings are a great way to enjoy one another face to face, and it gives an opportunity to engage in deeper conversations that we typically can have over the air. We hope you'll be able to join in one of these gatherings. If it's too far of a drive, then maybe you should consider starting a luncheon near you. Let us know when and where, and we'll do our best to make folks aware. That's how these gatherings get started, and it's a great way to spend time with folks who have similar interests and a way to find lifelong friends. In other news, the next Rabbit Hole Net will be on Monday, May 13th. Look for an announcement soon as we work towards filling the gap between rabbit hole nets. Exciting stuff is in the making. The next Skywarn Net will be held on Tuesday, May 7th, and the topic of discussion is National Weather Service. Be sure to have your computer handy so you can follow along. Also, please be sure to email us your spotter number if you have one so we can update our log. Just drop an email to skywarn@nggmrs.org. Let me break. When participating in the Skywarn Nets, you should have your computer handy so that you can follow along and make the best use of the training being presented. Check-ins are expected to participate. More information and training materials can be found at noaa.gov/jetstream. Skywarn training nets are for the Chattanooga region only. If you have an interest for the Skywarn and are not located in the Chattanooga area, you can find a local Skywarn group near you. The Skywarn nets are held on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. only on the northern segment of the North Georgia GMRS Network. Be sure to tune in Friday night for the Friday at 9 Simplex Challenge. The Simplex Net will be meeting on the ball ground repeater at 8:30 p.m. There will be a round table of Simplex and emergency comms discussions to start with. If you haven't yet, you should engage in the Simplex exercise and find out what your Simplex coverage is and who your Simplex neighbors are. In the event of a real disaster, this could be vital information, and it's another fun way to engage in radio. Look for more information on Facebook or call out to Atlanta 250 Mr. Dana sometime before the challenge for more details. The North Georgia GMRS KidsNet airs Saturday, May 11th at 7 p.m. The KidsNet is for family members of North Georgia GMRS Network members or licensed guests. We wish to thank all the parents who make the effort to engage their children in the magic of radio. This net is for youth only, 18 and under. However, parental guidance and coaching is allowed and expected. This will be the last KidsNet for a while. The Wolf family will be taking a break while they welcome their third son into the world. Exciting stuff. We hope to resume the Kids Night in August, just in time for the return of the school year. If you have any questions, suggestions, or spicy announcements for us to catch up on, send me a note at kate@nggmrs.org. We are North Georgia GMRS Network. This is WRMR 367, Atlanta 751. My name is Kate, and now back to Net Control.
All right. Well, thank you, Kate, for that lengthy list of announcements. It sounds to me like the lunch gathering list of locations for lunches is growing.
The lunch list?
The lunch list, yes. So pretty soon we're going to have a lunch lady organize all these dates. But that's great stuff. If you're able to attend, I encourage you to do so. And if you're unable to attend, I encourage you to seek out some friends that might like to form your own lunch gathering close to you at a convenient location, and maybe others will join in and participate. So that's very good stuff. All right. Well, thanks again, Kate. And with that, let's see if Julie has any tips. Julie, what do you have for us this week?
This is WQIR 514. My name is Julie, and I'm Atlanta 947 with this week's new user tips and operating procedures segment. This week, we will talk about GMRS radio tactical user numbers. Probably the most common new user question we hear is, what is a tactical unit number, and do I need one for each of my family members? The FCC requires that all transmissions are identified. They require you to use the assigned FCC call sign they issue to you when you applied for your license. Keep in mind that your FCC license covers your entire family, and their assigned FCC call sign is the same for everyone in your family. Now, this is where I think the confusion sets in. Here on the North Georgia GMRS Network, your on-air identification consists of two parts. One is your FCC call sign, and the other is your North Georgia GMRS tactical unit number. Our North Georgia GMRS issued tactical unit number serves to identify the specific individual you wish to speak to. Think of it this way. The FCC call sign is more of a family identifier because it covers your entire family, very much like your family's last name. That makes our tactical unit number sort of like a first name. I say sort of because if I call out on the air for Gary, there are many members by that first name. How do you know which Gary I want to speak to? TAC numbers are unique to each member on the network, meaning no two are alike, and consists of a region and a number. Most of us know one another by their tactical unit numbers and will call out on the network for someone using that TAC number. The TAC number is a more individualized identifier and allows us to call out to a specific user. Think of it this way. If I wanted to call out to my friend Kate Karen on the air and used their family's FCC call sign, WRMR367, neither Jeff or Kate would know which one of them the call is meant for. That is why North Georgia GMRS uses tactical unit numbers instead. It specifically identifies the individual on the network I wish to speak to. I would key the mic, pause for a second or two, and say, Atlanta 750, this is Atlanta 947, WQIR 514. Alternatively, if I wanted to call out to his wife, Kate, I would say Atlanta 751. This is Atlanta 947, WQIR 514. Let me break. So for the question, do I need a tactical unit number for every member of my family? Well, for each member who wishes to be active on the air, the answer is yes. However, if you have family members who won't engage on the network, then don't include them in your membership. They won't need to be members to operate in Simplex out in the woods or across the backyard. But if you find out later you'd like to add that family member to your membership, you can upgrade by paying the difference for the next membership level. Just be aware that you may end up needing to change to a new sequence of tactical unit numbers because we keep family units for tactical numbers in sequential order. We hope this answers one of the most common questions asked for North Georgia GMRS Network, and we look forward to hearing you on the air. These are just a few of the preferred practices of North Georgia GMRS members, and these procedures are how we become the best operators on the nation's largest, most advanced linked repeater network. And remember, If you have any questions or suggestions for new user tips and operating procedures, send me a note at julie@NGGMRS.org. We are North Georgia GMRS Network, and this is WQIR 514, Atlanta 947. My name is Julie. Good night, everyone.
All right. Well, thank you for those tips tonight, Julie. That is a great reminder of how tactical unit numbers work. I know that's one of the questions that we see quite a lot. Probably not the most, but quite a lot from brand new users or people that are making inquiries about becoming a member. Asking what do they need? What do they need tactical unit numbers for, and how do they work? And so that's great stuff. Glad we were able to get that out there again. So thanks again, Julie, for those tips, and have a great evening. With that, I think we'll go ahead and jump right back into some new check-ins. I think it's time for another round of check-ins.
Well, wait a minute. Did you get your computer fixed?
For now, knock on wood. We'll see if it stays fixed.
His computer crashed right during Julie's tips and then came back to life.
Interesting. All right. Well, we're just riddled with new and exciting technological adventures.
We take a week off, and this is what happens.
Well,
right.
During Julie's segment, I faded to black by accident, so that was my hiccup there, too. We had a black screen for a couple seconds.
I thought that was intentional, just premature. But in any case,
I pushed the button by accident.
Yeah, there's so many buttons. How many buttons are on that machine?
Just the video switcher, probably about 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they all do fantastic things. So,
but you have to push them. You have to push them at the right time. That's key.
Timing is important in video production and in comedy.
And audio. If you get the mixer dialed in after the band is done for the night, doesn't matter.
Doesn't do any good.
Yeah, I've been there. I played that gig. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and jump back into another round of check-ins. We'll take Zello check-ins first. Anyone using the Zello Voice over IP app on their phone and is not holding a radio, we'd like to hear from you. Zello check-ins only, please. Net control standing by.
This is WRXM 922 Gainesville 58. Jonathan from Oakwood checking in and out.
All right. So we heard Gainesville 58. Jonathan in Oakwood is in and out as a Zello check-in. And we had Gainesville 54, Kevin, in Gainesville on YouTube checking in. So don't forget to check us out on a live stream. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment on the channel while you're there. Those interactions help the channel to grow, and we very much appreciate that. Nice, long, uncomfortable, and sometimes awkward pause at the end of that after Jonathan's check-in, just to see if we had any more. But we're going to continue on with additional check-ins from any repeater other than Flagship. Anyone other than Flagship and Zello check-ins, please call Net Control now.
Chattanooga 136, SAS 698, checking in.
This is McDonough 22, WRCR 952. Tim in Stockbridge. Check me in, please.
Net control. If you could, check in, please, check in WRTS 814, Tacoma 33. Matthew in Pickens, South Carolina. Hope I'm making it into Tacoma fairly clear. And no traffic tonight.
And what? That means in and
This is WROT 224, Chattanooga 110, checking in.
This is WRVR 303, Chattanooga 30, Jonathan from Hickson. Mark me in and out. Thank you, gentlemen.
I didn't have anything there.
McDonough or Peter?
Yeah.
This is WRZT 646, Atlanta 933, Dwayne in Canton, checking in, checking out.
This is going to be a problem.
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge this round of check-ins. We heard Chattanooga 136 Ben in Harrison is in tonight. We heard McDonough 22 Tim in Stockbridge also in tonight. Tacoma 33 Matthew in Pickens is in and out. Chattanooga 110 Jim in Ringgold is in tonight. Chattanooga 30 Jonathan in Hickson is in and out. Gainesville 60 Scott in Buford checking in on YouTube. And Atlanta 933 Dwayne in Canton is in and out. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. We'll continue on with check-ins from any repeater anywhere. This includes flagship and it includes Zello check-ins if you're able. Net control standing by.
This is WRPM 847, Chattanooga 162, Larry in Chattanooga. Check me in and check me out, please. This is WRQ G806, Atlanta 557, Ed in Kennesaw. By way of relay, Atlanta 558, Denise in Kennesaw, and we are in and out. Thank you.
This is Atlanta 308, WRJF 981, Dan in Marietta. I'll be in and out tonight.
WRMA 965, Atlanta 964, Richard in Duluth, in and out.
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge this last round of check-ins. We heard Chattanooga 162, Larry in Chattanooga, in and out. Also heard Atlanta 557, Ed in Kennesaw, in and out. as well as Atlanta 558 Denise in Kennesaw, in and out. Atlanta 308 Dan in Marietta, in and out. Atlanta 964 Richard in Duluth, in and out. And CW8 Robert in Colbert is a YouTube check-in. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight on YouTube. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. So I think we're going to go ahead and head to the top and start things off. If you missed your opportunity to check in, we will call one more time for late check-ins at the end of the roster. So stick around, and we'll get there. We'll get there as soon as it works out. So tonight we're talking about summertime projects. So our summertime project this year is Studio B. Now, there have been several iterations of Studio B over the last few years. The first version of Studio B was a room that was in one end of the house. It worked out pretty well because that room used to be a garage, and so we could pretty much do whatever I wanted to in there in terms of making holes and ceiling or walls or.
Mike's got a little video going for the live stream viewers of its current state.
Oh, there you go. So if you're watching on live stream, you can see where Studio B is at this moment. So good stuff.
Right this moment.
Then in a later iteration of Studio B, we moved it to a bedroom in the house, which is very cramped. And that's pretty much when Jeff kind of came along and started helping out. We talked about restarting the YouTube live stream back in those days, but decided that the space was just too cramped. It was, about a third of what we have now here in Studio Vanguard?
Yeah, that's realistic.
Yeah. So it was pretty crowded. Jeff and I were shoulder to shoulder in there, and to have a third person in there was just impractical.
Standing room only. Pretty much.
So Studio B got kind of set aside. Let me break. And so that's when Jeff and I came up with the idea and the concept for Studio G. Studio G was a Go box of sorts. That's where the G came from, Studio Go. And it is a portable radio/studio rig on wheels with 16-channel Mackie mixer, 2 Kenwood radios, 2 Raspberry Pis, and a mishmash of other custom assorted electronics. So with Studio G, we were able to conduct our first remote live broadcast from the Chattanooga Hamfest with, I think, what do we have, 8 operators at that first event. So that's a kind of unprecedented. I'm not aware that anybody anywhere has ever accomplished a panel of 8 operators on a radio like that. So that was cool stuff. And then, of course, last year our project was Studio Vanguard, and we had a lot of fun and considerable expense in putting Vanguard together. But it's here and it's operational, and it has been a fantastic studio environment to operate in for events like the Jeep Fest and for the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. So this is where we are. Studio B is where we're going, and we'll be occupying that space. Studio B consists of a control room, which is approximately the size of Vanguard, with a much higher ceiling, and a studio space, which is considerably larger than where we are right now. And we're really excited about what the future holds for that space, and we are consulting with experts in the video broadcast field so that we can provide some of the best ideas and have the best opportunities for future expansion. And really excited about the project. So it's just 2x4s and lumber at this stage, but it will progress, and as it does, we'll keep providing pictures and information about it. So that's where we're at right now. What summer projects do you have working on? And I don't know. Should we ask for suggestions for next year's summer projects?
I don't think we need any suggestions. I think we got plenty of ideas. We need more time than suggestions.
Well, who knows what ideas will come about for next year, but I'm pretty sure we'll be engaged in something. All right, so let's go to the top of the roster here and see, who do we have? It looks like Rome 62, Mitch in Somerville. Mitch, do you have any summer projects you plan to engage in, or maybe you're already in the middle of? Rome 62. Mitch, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm here. Nothing planned, really. Probably just work. That's about it. We own a small trucking company, so we stay pretty busy.
Well, I used to drive for a small trucking company, and I get it. Free time and spare time and time for projects can be pretty challenging. And projects when you're on the road are especially challenging. So I get it. Well, good luck with the trucking operation. Hope that goes very well for you. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight. With that, we're going to move on to Gainesville 417. William in Auburn. William is in and out tonight, and that'll bring us to Atlanta 256. Chuck in Dawsonville. Chuck, have we scared you off of volunteering for work days at Studio B?
No, actually, you haven't. I'm ready to go again, but it's going to be raining all this weekend. And excuse 256.1, she's lost her mind tonight. But, no, I'm ready to go. Just give me a shout.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think this weekend is going to be a washout in a couple of ways. So, but we're making good progress nonetheless, and even in the evenings, we're able to spend a little bit of time and make progress. And so every day this week, we've shown some result, and I think we're not going to show any tonight. I don't think anybody's going to be working on Studio B this evening. Seems like we have other tasks to tend to.
Well,
but
Chuck at least needs to come back here and get Murphy out of the trailer.
Oh, that's for sure.
He left Murphy in here.
Murphy's all over the place in here. So maybe we just need to label the buttons a little bit better. I don't know.
Well, no, Mike's computer crashed again. So Murphy's definitely still in here.
What's going on with that computer?
I think it had something to do with the video of Studio B.
Ah.
Because it's been working fine all day, and I throw that video on there, and it loses its mind.
Fascinating.
Murphy.
Yes,
all right.
Yes, exactly.
So the video broke the computer. All right. Well, good stuff, Chuck. And yeah, stay tuned. There's going to be lots of opportunities to come and work on Studio B. The next probably big task is going to be hoisting sheathing up and affixing said sheathing to the rafters. So have a look at the video. You'll be able to see what that's going to look like, and that'll be fun. So stay tuned. Next on our list is a string of in and outs. We have Atlanta 340, Todd in Ackworth, in and out. CW33, Tom in Bogart, in and out. Atlanta 12, Jay in Calhoun, in and out. Atlanta 342, David in Cumming, in and out. Chattanooga 123, Steve in Ringgold, in and out. Dallas 17, Jeff in Dallas, in and out. And that'll bring us to Noonan 31, John in Fayetteville. John, do you have any summer projects you'd like to share? All right. Well, John is just kind of not there, so. All right, we're going to go ahead and show John as in and out and continue on. We have Chattanooga 137, Andrew in Harrison, in and out. Gainesville 44, Joe in Cleveland is in and out. And Atlanta 403, Bobby at the Vortex. Bobby, are you going to put that tower up this summer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was out having a smoke back in real quick, but yeah, that's one of my projects, and I got to pressure wash the house and pressure wash the deck, and
There's no pressure.
the deck. And yeah, but the tower is an important thing, and that should go up this summer. But
Oh, that'd be very cool. I know you've been a long time wanting to get that project underway, and that would be a good one to get done this year. So, yeah, you know, I know that you've got a challenge with getting some holes dug for that, but just dig a little bit at a time. Get out there before the summer heat sets in. That's one of the wonderful benefits we've had these last 10 days or so is great working weather. You know, the temperatures have been mild and the weather's been very cooperative. So, yeah, I'm really thrilled at the progress we've been able to make at this project. So, hopefully you can enjoy some of that and get that tower up this year. Let me break. All right, Bobby. With that, we're going to go ahead and continue on with Atlanta 454, Stephen in Lilburn. Atlanta 453, Janine in Lilburn. Atlanta 589, Don in Kennesaw. Atlanta 359, Wyatt in Monroe. Atlanta 849, Pamela in Duluth. Atlanta 848, Ernest in Duluth. Gainesville 100, Randall in Buford. Cades Cove 80, Eric in Rockwood. Cades Cove 82, Jenny in Rockwood are all in and out. Next on our roster is Toccoa 44, Allen in Cashiers. Alan, do you have any summer projects you'd like to share?
Well, actually, as a matter of fact, I do. It's raised bed gardening, and it's an amazing thing when you can find these little concrete cubes that flows, and you put a 2x6x8 across, and it's the simplest thing in the world to just put a raised bed garden anywhere. So that's my project for spring and summer.
Ah, yes, very good. And our very own Atlanta 911 has quite the array of raised bed gardens in her backyard. And yeah, I tell you, the thing I like the most about that is if you build it right, you can kind of just lean over to tend to the garden. You don't have to get down on hands and knees. And boy, that getting down on hands and knees is getting tougher the older I get. So I've had more than my share of that on this project. So raised bed garden is a great idea. And, you know, that just goes towards being more self-sufficient. Homegrown vegetables are far healthier than who knows what's been sprayed on the stuff you buy at the supermarket.
Well, the raised beds help keep some of the critters out, too, like rabbits and ground animals. If you make them high enough, they can't jump in there. I'm serious. Did you see the ones that... Did you see the one... Speaking of rabbits...
I've never seen a rabbit that couldn't jump, but...
the ones that David and Lisa made, the rabbit hole raised beds.
Oh, yeah.
Those are like hip high. You don't have to bend over at all.
Well, it's because those rabbits have wings. You got to make them really high.
Oh, yeah.
You know what the rabbits are looking for?
Something to eat?
So, what do they want to eat?
What's up, Doc? Is there...
Free salad.
Free salad.
They're looking for a free salad.
Right.
Oh, I'll show myself out. I know Chuck's laughing.
Please do.
Thanks for coming.
Well, it's a great idea, great suggestion, Alan, and I hope that your raised bed project goes really, really well. And looking forward to some pictures of some of the produce that comes out of that. Is this for flower beds, or is this going to be for actual vegetable gardens?
Oh, vegetables, absolutely. Cucumbers is going to be the main thing, but then trying all sorts of other things. Peas, carrots, radishes are going right now, and then there's something called New Zealand spinach that just grows crazy wild in the summer, and it's just abundant and tastes great.
Very good. I'll tell you one thing that Atlanta 911 has done is she's taken those cattle panels. You can buy them at TSC, and it's a heavy wire mesh, and you can form that into a large arch between a couple of points on a raised bed, and that's a great way to raise cucumbers because the vine will just kind of envelop that hog panel, cattle panel, however you describe that, and then the cucumbers just kind of hang down, and they're easy to keep track of, and when they're ready, you can just pluck them right off the vine. So if you haven't considered that, give that a little bit of thought. And yeah, the raised bed garden, I think that's a great. We could probably have a net just on gardening.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so maybe that'll be a rabbit hole net one of these days. So good stuff, Alan. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for that project idea. Next on our list, we have Atlanta 240. Patrick in Duluth is in and out. Dallas 290. Isaac in Dallas is in and out. Dallas 291. Mrs. Holt in Dallas is in and out. And you know, when I saw this entry in log, I looked at it quickly and looked away, and I thought it said William Shatner, but it's not. It's William in Holly Springs. William is in and out. That'll bring us to Atlanta 250. Dana in Dahlonega. Dana, do you have any summer projects you'd like to share?
Magoo.
He's probably trying to talk to us on Simplex.
Or YouTube.
I haven't seen him on the YouTube, actually. He's usually in both.
You've done it again, Magoo.
No, Magoo.
All right, Mr. Magoo, Atlanta 250. Dana, are you hanging out there with us?
Sir, I was in the other room. My apologies. And windows. I'm replacing windows throughout the house. And not myself having or hiring a company to do it, but aside from that, just the general spring cleaning stuff, the power washing, and cleaning the deck furniture that sat out all winter and grayed up a little bit. So, and then just the general stuff that summer brings, good old lawn cutting and weed whacking, stuff like that.
Lawn care is always a project, it seems, but I'm more interested in these Windows upgrades. Is this going to be Linux, or is this going to be a Mac?
Grades, Linux or Mac, what are you referring to?
All these Windows machines you're talking about upgrading.
Windows in the house, not on the computer.
Yes, the windows in the house, and you know, that's a pretty good project. I've changed a couple of them in the house here. I've done them myself, and I highly discourage changing windows yourself, especially if you don't know what you're doing, because you know, I don't, and I've done it, and not recommended. But I'll probably do it again. Results may vary. So what I've found, my experience has been, because I don't like the idea of the insert windows. If I'm going to change a window, I'm going to knock the old window out, and I want a window that fits the rough opening. So with that in mind, you got trim work, you've got sheetrock work, you've got a lot of work to do. And I'm not good at sheetrock, so it all ended up okay because the trim boards are wide. But it's a challenging project to take on yourself, and
that's why the trim's so wide in your house.
That's exactly why the trim's so wide in my house, because sheetrock. That's why. But if you're going to hire it done, it gets to be expensive, and I mean, even if you do it yourself, it's kind of expensive. But that labor cost added in there can really add up. So, and I think I've heard you make mention that your intention is to kind of change out all the windows in the house. So as a package deal, that's a kind of a mid-range financial project all in itself. So hope that goes well for you. Hope you're able to find the right help to get that labor done. And yeah, I mean, you could always consider Linux or even Mac if you're not happy with your Windows.
Mike's struggling with his Mac right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a struggle tonight.
So you need to open a window?
Or at least a help ticket.
Maybe I need to close a couple windows. Maybe that's the problem.
That sometimes is a problem. You got 4 instances of browsers open and 32 tabs and can't figure out where the music's coming from.
That's it. That's it.
That's my brain all the time.
Story of my life.
Right? So, all right, with that, Dana, we're going to go ahead and move on. Next, we have a couple of 40s. We have the CW40, Robert in Nicholson, and we have the Columbus 40, John in Phoenix City. Both are in and out. Also, Atlanta 222, Larry in Canton is in and out. That'll bring us to Atlanta 263, Rogers in Dunwoody. Rogers, do you have any summer projects you'd like to talk about?
Definitely. And thanks for the name upgrade from Roger to Rogers. A lot of people get that wrong. But yeah, my summer project is radio related. Just trying to make my base station the best that it can be. Right now, I'm on the Tram Browning 6140 and antenna, and I just bought a Yagi 3-element, which should be in. My question to you all is, if under 30 feet, what is the best coaxial cable to get? I've seen LMR 400, LMR 600, and some other things, but I'm just wondering what is the best cable to get if under 30 feet?
Well, that's one of the most important considerations, and you mentioned under 30 feet, so that's really kind of a magic number. You want to keep your coax run as short as possible. So under 30 feet is a really good place to be, and with that, you could safely use something like LMR 400. But there's nothing wrong with. So here's the deal: in UHF radio, you end up with considerably more signal loss in the coax than you would in VHF or in HF. So the coax, the higher the frequency, the more critical the performance of the coax becomes. So LMR 400 would be the minimum that you should consider. You should certainly take a look at LMR 600, and if it's within your budget, you should do that. And of course, the other things you need to consider when you're installing a base antenna is proper grounding and lightning protection. So be sure that you don't skimp out on those things. Have a plan for dealing with static discharge and lightning, and make sure that your system is well grounded so that you don't create other problems within your household. So LMR 400 would be acceptable. LMR 600 would certainly be preferred, but it can be really challenging to work with. And it really kind of comes down to an individual choice. There's an Italian coax product that I've seen. I'm not aware of anybody who's using it, but I've heard very, very good things about it. So that might be worth doing some research on. But ultimately what you're looking at is what your signal loss is at the frequency range that we're operating. You can look at those numbers in the specs for different grades of coax, and you can find, what the signal loss values are going to be for those different coaxes, and make a decision based on that. And 30 feet is a really good number. We like to keep our coax runs, at 50 feet or less, and so you're just over half on that. And 50 feet is about the max you can go on LMR 400. If you're looking at a run longer than 50 feet, you really should be into something like a hardline or an LMR 600 or something even better than that. So does that answer your question?
It does. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I did see that Italian maker as well. I think it was Messi and Poloni or MMP, something like that. But yeah, definitely will take all that into consideration. I appreciate that, and nice meeting all of you at the cookout as well. So great, Ned, and thanks for everything.
Yeah, it was great meeting you and Noah, and had a great time at the cookout. Lots of people, lots of faces, and lots of names. Most of them I've already forgotten. But in any case, the cookout was great fun, and really, really looking forward to next opportunity to visit with our friends from North Georgia GMRS. I think our next outing is going to be probably the Jeep Fest.
Yeah, I think so.
So that'll be something to plan for, and come on out to the Jeep Fest and hang out with us. We'll be offering some volunteer opportunities for the Jeep Fest as well. So stay tuned for more information on our next North Georgia GMRS outing. All right, Rogers, thank you for that. We're going to continue on. Let's see, I've lost my place. There we are. We have Atlanta 631 Shad in Emerson is in and out, as well as Atlanta 632 Stacy in Emerson. We have you both in and out. We have a check-in here I'm not too sure about. We heard Atlanta 518. We don't have a lookup for 518. So if you checked in using that TAC number, can you come back with your first name and your call sign, please? All right, hearing nothing from the user who identified as Atlanta 518, we're going to go ahead and move on and show that entry in the log. That was probably a mistake. One day when the auditors go through our rosters and decide what our actual number of check-ins are, this will be one of those logs that they'll flag and question us on. So maybe we'll remember to derate ourselves. Maybe not. But in any case, this week's net has probably got a bogus entry in it. And that's okay. Next on the list is Chattanooga 20 Mike in Cleveland. Mike is in and out. We have Blue Ridge 46. David in Dahlonega is in tonight. David, do you have any summer projects you'd like to share?
Yes, sir. Just Blue Ridge 46. Just typical, getting the garden ready. I use the wicking tubs, primarily planting jalapenos. And that's pretty much it, other than standard yard work, gutter cleaning, that type of thing.
Well, getting the garden ready is the season for that right now. So if you're not already at it, you're probably a little bit late. But there's lots of things you can still get planted and going, and sometimes you can buy starts and get a head start on things. Some folks will even create their own starts with little starter trays in the house in the early spring, and have plants that have already got a jump start on things that can put out now. So gardening is definitely the the season for that. And yeah, the household chores. The gutter cleaning is something that I am so pleased that we're not doing anymore. We 6, 7, 8 years ago we put new gutters on that included the Leaf Shield gutter glove, I think is the name brand. And that's been really good, because cleaning gutters was such a constant thing. So many big trees here. And I don't know what it is about gutters and leaves, but they are like magnets to leaves. And I'm not sure how that works, because leaves are non-ferrous and so are the aluminum gutters. But in any case, there seemed to be a magnetic attraction there. I'm glad we don't do that anymore. Something to consider, and but it's not a terrible task. It's just a terrible task. So
that never ends.
It never ends, right? I mean, all in all. I mean, if it takes you half an hour to do the gutters, it's because you spent 25 minutes up and down the ladder. The rest of it is just super simple. It's
kind of like cutting grass.
Up and down the ladder. Well, you don't have to go up the ladder to cut the grass.
No, but it just has to keep happening every week.
Right. So, yep. All right. Well, then, good luck with the summer chores, and appreciate that, David. Next, we're going to move on to Atlanta 1402. He's constantly engaged in a summer chore. Rome 12. Mark in Rome is in and out. Atlanta 261. Scott in Holly Springs is in and out. Atlanta 532, Tom in Flowery Branch is in and out. And Gainesville 43, David in Auburn, in and out. I don't think I mentioned Todd's name, 1402.
Skipped over Todd.
Yeah, Todd in Sugar City is in and out. So that'll bring us to WRNQ is what we heard. We didn't hear the complete call sign. WRNQ. We didn't catch a TAC number either, so that's all we have in the log at this time. So if you checked in with WRNQ, can you come back with the rest of your call sign and a TAC number if you have one? If not, a first name is okay.
Another audit coming up on that entry.
Yeah.
All right, the auditors are going to throw all kinds of flags on this one, but that's all right. We're having fun anyway. So Gainesville 58, Jonathan in Oakwood is in and out. Gainesville 54, Kevin is a YouTube check-in, in and out. And that'll bring us to Chattanooga 136, Ben in Harrison. Ben, do you have any summer projects you want to share with the group?
I do, actually. And that big summer project is my house being built in Harrison.
Well, that's a little more ambitious than the studio project. The whole house is that's a challenging task. Are you having it built, or are you out there building it?
Clayton is going to be hauling it on and putting it together within the next couple of weeks.
That's cool.
Very nice. When I was knee-high to a grasshopper, my dad built a house. And of course, that's a you call in all your friends and you call in all your favors, and so the house went up fairly quickly, almost as a home builder would build it, because Dad had all those connections in the construction field, back in those days. But it was really neat because the basement got poured, and as a small kid, just those memories of seeing all that stuff happening. The joists got put out over the basement, and the frame went up, and the electrical went in, and just being, even as a small kid, being a part of that and witnessing that happen and then living within it was a pretty incredible thing. So there was this between my bedroom and my brother's bedroom, there was a set of closets, and there was this constant debate as to whether my brother needed a larger closet than I needed. And so since that was never really decided, it turned out that the closets were connected. There was never a wall built between those two closets. So you could actually go into the closet from my room and come out of the closet in my brother's room. And it was like that for a very long time. There was never a dividing partition installed between those two closets. So that was an oddity. I don't know that I've seen that in any other home, but the closets occupied the same general space, and it just worked out that way. But it could be a great amount of fun and adventure building a home, and stress and anxiety too, I suppose. But right there with you. We're putting the studio together. I'm doing a lot of the work myself as much as I can. We'll have to probably hire some things done, but we won't hire as many things done as I should.
You might run out of friends.
I think I already am. But Chuck said he's coming, so that's great. All right. Well, thank you, Ben, for that, and good luck with the home build. I hope that turns out to be a great project. Looking forward to some pictures on Facebook. Next, we have McDonough22, Tim in Stockbridge. Tim, do you have a summertime project you want to share?
Good evening, gentlemen, and the rest of the net there. Well, I don't have a whole lot of projects. I do have some fixing up around the house here and things that needs to be done. I just finished one major project I've been working on for almost the last year. We're trying to get my old work truck running again. Of course, last year I was busy and didn't have a whole lot of time to work on it or money. And but nevertheless, we put distributor in that thing. We put all new electronics, sensors, and everything. And when we crank it up, it would run fine, and then it would just sit there and quit after a few minutes. And finally, a couple weeks ago, actually Friday before the barbecue, I got my mechanic down here, and we tried the last thing we could think of, replacing the little wiring harness that goes to the ignition control module, which seemed that they had seen better days. And so far, I've put about 100 miles on it, and it has not quit on me one time. So that's one project done. And I don't know if you call travel projects or not, but I'm hoping to travel down to my sister's in Navarre, Florida in June probably or July. And then I'm hopefully be able to fly out to see my son and my grandkids in Washington State sometime in September, hopefully. And other than just small fix-it projects around the house, that's pretty much the extent of my summer plans there, Roger.
Very good. Well, I tell you, I suppose travel can be a project in and of itself, but man, that truck, what a great thing to finally have that truck up and running and have that trouble resolved. And it's frustrating when you put time and money into trying to fix something, and the fix that you made is not the fix that it needed. But I'm glad you finally found that and been able to put some miles on that. It's one thing to have a truck, but if you can't trust it to bring you home, then you don't want to go very far in it. So hopefully that 100 miles is the first of many. And you have great success with that old truck. I'd like to get my old truck back up in action, but I don't know that that's in the cards. But talking about travel, thinking about doing some travel ourselves, maybe later in the season. But I had a look at my bank account, and based on what I saw there, I can afford to go to work. That's about as far as I can go.
Even that's debatable. Might have to work from home and hope for the best. But good stuff, Tim.
And hope you have great success on those trips. Next on the list, we have Toccoa 33 Matthew in Pickens, is in and out. And we have Chattanooga 110 Jim in Ringgold in with us tonight. Jim, do you have any projects for the summer that you'd like to get engaged in?
My whole summer is a project. I just hope I survive. No, I stay busy all summer because I've got a big place to take care of, and I enjoy every minute of it. What I really want to try to do is build a few more antennas and upgrade my ham license and fish more. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Thank you.
Solid list.
That is a solid list.
Solid list, yeah.
So, taking care of a property, it's when we moved here, I kind of didn't want to have a large property because I know, after having grown up on a farm, I know what that can be like. And, it's maintenance and property and fixing fences and fixing barn doors and cleaning stalls and just taking care of things on a farm. It just never ends, and it's constant. And one of the challenges when you're on a farm is, especially if you have any amount of livestock, it's hard to go anywhere. It's hard to get, to be able to take a vacation. You got to arrange for somebody to take care of the animals because they're not going to take care of themselves. Or if they do take care of themselves, it might not be a good thing.
Yeah.
So fences get knocked down, and horses will find their way into the feed room, and they can figure out how to get lids off of barrels. The things that a horse can do with its muzzle is like, it's amazing. They don't have any fingers, but their nose is so nimble that they don't need fingers. They can figure it out. So, and these are things that I've seen. So, being on a farm and having a large property can be a lot of work. It can be a lot of reward too. But that's one thing that I look at, is that those animals tend to be an anchor, and sometimes that's good. But if you'd like to travel, that can be a challenge. But upgrading your license, that sounds like a fantastic project, and I hope that goes very well.
Yes.
And that's definitely worth doing. And fishing, I don't, you'll do well not to invite me fishing, because that's not something I do well at. I do most of my fishing at Kroger.
I don't think that's what he had in mind.
Right.
Is it the sitting still part?
Sitting still is a problem. But I develop an anxiety sitting in a boat for a couple of hours fishing, or even just on the bank. There's a million things that I should be doing.
Yeah.
And relaxing, it's just not something that I can relax doing.
Yeah.
It builds anxiety for me. So it internally it makes me crazy. And probably the fish can sense that, because I don't do well fishing. There was an occasion I went fishing with my dad and my neighbor Gary, and the three of us were out on the water for 2.5, 3 hours, and the whole time we were out there, Dad got a bite, and he started to reel it in, but the fish got off the hook. Gary got a bite, but never even got to reel in. It was off the hook immediately, and I got nothing the whole time we were there.
Oh.
And so, as we're loading up the boat on the trailer, getting ready to head back to my neighbor Gary's house, I commented that we ought to have a fish fry tonight. And, my dad says, how are we going to do that? We threw everything back. We didn't throw anything back. We didn't catch anything. Let me break. But we made it back. We got the boat put away. And as Dad and I are walking across the backyard from Gary's backyard to our backyard, my mom was up on the deck, and she called out. She says, how'd you do? I said, we did good. We're going to have a fish fry. And she says, well, that's cool. Let me see what you caught. And I said, you can't. We dropped him off at Kroger to have him cleaned. So that's my fish story, and I'm sticking to it. I do all my fishing at Kroger. All right, so good stuff, Jim. That was our last in for the evening. We have a list of in and outs. I'll go through that list of names here, and then we'll take one final round of additional check-ins and any additional questions or comments. So let me get through this list of check-ins here first. We have Chattanooga 30 Jonathan in Hickson is in and out. Gainesville 60 Scott in Buford on YouTube. We have Atlanta 933 Dwayne in Canton in and out. Chattanooga 162 Larry in Chattanooga is in and out. Atlanta 557 Ed in Kennesaw in and out. Atlanta 558 Denise in Kennesaw in and out. Atlanta 308 Dan in Marietta in and out. Atlanta 964 Richard in Duluth is in and out. We have CW8 Robert is a YouTube check-in, as well as Dallas 16 Michael, also a YouTube check-in. And then we also have WSCS 492 Ari is a YouTube guest. We have WRCK 509 is another guest on YouTube. And we have WRZG 694 Rick is right here in Woodstock, is another guest check-in. We heard Noonan 43 James in Peachtree City checking in on YouTube. I guess we didn't hear that. We just saw that.
We saw it.
We saw that. We have Chattanooga 49 Robbie in Dalton is a YouTube check-in. We have Rome 27 Terry in Menlo is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 519 Gary in Marietta is hanging out on a hammock, listening in on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Gary. Dallas 20 David is in southwest Paulding County, watching us on YouTube, as well as Cades Cove 33 John, another YouTube check-in. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. We're going to take one round of late check-ins. Zello, Flagship, any other repeater. The floor is open for questions and comments. Net Control, standing by.
This is
This is Gainesville 76 WRUH 751 in and out.
255 WSAM 586 in and out.
WSAF 252 Chat 46 in and out.
This is
A loud double.
WSBV 867 Chattanooga 109 in and out.
This is WRXV 696 Dallas 64. Josh and Dallas, check me in and out, please. Thank you.
I don't care what the weatherman says, it'll be raining by morning, I promise.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe you.
All right, here we go. We're going to wrap it up. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge this last round of check-ins. We had Gainesville 76 John in Gainesville in and out. We heard Atlanta 255 Jennifer in Dawsonville in and out. Chattanooga 46 William in Rossville is in and out. Chattanooga 109 JG in Chattanooga is in and out. And Dallas 64 Josh in Dallas in and out. All right, with that, no comments or questions. So this will be the end of our program. So this is going to conclude the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we had a total of how many?
80. 80.
80. Are we sure?
That's what
Probably
I showed.
like 78.
We had,
probably 78 if you do the audit.
and how many people did we talk to? What, 13?
14, including 14.
All right, so the auditors are going to have a heyday with this log, but that's okay because we're having a good time anyway. Net control will now be returning the repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, comments on the YouTube channel show engagement with the video and help the channel grow. Tonight's net is, I can't do that part. Thank you for allowing us to serve as your net control tonight. Good night, everyone. This is WQIR 514, Atlanta 946. My name is Justin.
This is WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
And Atlanta 750, WRMR 367. My name is Jeff.
What's
Good night,
Murphy's
everyone.
call sign?
He didn't speak, so.
But he did show up.
He did show up, that's
his
for
presence
sure.
was felt, yeah.
Good night, everyone. We are North Georgia GMRS Network.
And we are clear.
Good night.